Hello, everyone, and welcome back once again to yet another episode of the Eljay Johnsen Show. This show airs every Saturday at 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you have any questions over the week in between episodes, feel free to email them to me at ljjohnson@gmail.com. And if you have any questions during this live airing of the episode, feel free to head on over to Twitter at the Eljay Johnson using the hashtag the Eljay Johnsen Show, and we will work on getting to your questions before the end of the episode. Okay, so let me introduce my next guest. So, once upon a time, during the massive reign of one of the great kingdoms of one of several different Bionicle and or Lego communities, there was once a man. He was a weak and feeble man, but he did his best in life. He worked hard, many jobs, aspiring to be one of the kingdom's royal knights. And one day, he was able to have a meeting with one of the kings, to where he pleaded, he begged, he desired so heartily to become one of the royal knights. The king saw his courage, he saw his hard work and determination, and went, "You know what? To reward you of your efforts, I shall put you into the program which trains our royal knights." The man was elated, he was thrilled, he couldn't believe it. His life's work paid off. And as he ran out later that night to go tell his wife and children, my current guest came out of the shadows and killed him and took his position. I'm talking, of course, about Political Slime. How are you doing today?
Hey, everybody, my name is Political Slime. I'm moderator.
Nice. Very impressive.
Great way to make a good impression.
Yeah, now all the people who just immediately clicked off of the episode has that in their heads of you. That's what they're thinking of you now.
It's appropriate.
Okay,
Hi
fair.
everybody. My name is Political_Slime. I'm a moderator on the TTV message boards. Part-time Craigslist extraordinaire.
Part-time Craigslist extraordinaire? What? Okay, no.
It's
what
a very
goes
specific
into that?
Well, see, what you have to do is you have to surf Craigslist like it's a social media site, which it is. And you post your things on Craigslist, and you make your way from there.
Fascinating. I've never used Craigslist, so there you go. Okay, so Slime, you already know how things go here. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into the Lego community, Bionicle community, what have you, and let's know a little bit more about you.
Yeah. So my story begins as a small child. You know, as you do, you get your Lego sets as a kid, as toys and all that, and you like, Duplos and all that. At some point, 2002, for whatever reason, received a toy. It was brown. It came in a canister. Had this weird like kicking function. I am of course talking about Pohatu Mata. And that was my first ever introduction to Bionicle. I remember getting it. I remember being so confused by the instructions that I had to have my dad help me because I was not a smart 5-year-old. Yeah, after that I got all the rest of the Mata minus Kopaka, and things just kind of grew from there.
Okay.
And five is when I discovered Bionicle.com, which sounds a little lame considering the fact that I'd been in it for, I've been into Bionicle for 3 years.
Now, you were 5 or 2005?
2005, I was 8 years old in 2005. I just to clarify, it was 2005. I was not 5. I was 8.
Okay, good. Thank you.
I'm gonna write that down. I already wrote it down. Anyway,
just so I don't forget for future
I did actually write down. I mentioned this earlier. I actually wrote down a whole like flow chart of where I was going to go with this whole conversation. I have the year. I have the age. So I have 2005, age 8, when I first kind of looked at Bionicle.com and it was like, oh, Kanoka codes or whatever. And I was like, oh, but you need to create an account to do that. And I was like, oh, well, I'll create an account. So 2005 was the year of the Resurrect, the Hordika. So I decided to go with the name of the one Hordika that I owned, which was Nuju. So I did Toa Nuju. That username was already taken, so I decided to go with Toa Nuju 120, which I think was one of the ones that was suggested. I don't remember. That's kind of where that username came from. Fast forward to the next year, 2006. I was 9 years old. Started to get a little bit more into the story, started reading the books, and, generally 2006, 2007, 2008 was the years that the story, went from being, I wouldn't say basic, but it went up a notch. Drama and action and lore and all of that. Some people might say too much, but at any rate, that's really when I started to get into it.
Okay.
2010. I was 13 by that point. I was, obviously I was a little bit upset by that, but at the same time, this new thing was coming out, Hero Factory. I was super excited for it. As mad because Greg was like, oh, well, the stories will still come out on BionicleStory.com. And for a while they did. I, for a solid 2 years, would check BionicleStory.com every single day. I think around 2012, I eventually, because it just wasn't worth it at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I was pretty big into the story, all things considered. I had a bunch of Bionicle books, kept up on all the serials, all of that. But as soon as Hero Factory started and as soon as Greg stopped writing serials, I kind of fell out of it a little bit. For, a while, up until like 2012, 2013 or so, and then I started to fall out. Around the same time, 2012, is when I discovered this fancy new game. It was called Raft. It was the hip and trendiest new game on the market.
You
created
kinda,
by the.
You kinda, like, cut out there for like the brief moment. I only heard.
It was me opening my can of Sprite.
Oh, okay. I'm sure you meant to say Minecraft.
Yes.
Okay.
The Minecraft.
Yeah, the best game ever.
Created by esteemed video game creator Notch, best known for his work on Cliff Force. Best.
Oh, you did not. I forgot about that, and I know where you're going with that later on, and I'm not happy. That makes me an unhappy pickle.
No, it makes me very unhappy as well.
Okay,
that's
continue.
besides the point. Getting ahead of myself. So I got into Minecraft. I didn't actually get the game as soon as I learned about it because I was, I don't know if I'd say sheltered, but like I thought of things as being more significant than they actually were. So, like, I never was like, hey, ask my parents, can I have like Minecraft? Or, at the age of 15, I could just go and buy the game myself, probably, but I didn't. So what I did instead was I made a really big deal out of it. So I was like hyping it up for myself. I was like leaving subtle hints for my parents to get it for me for Christmas. Preparation is I was creating a few Minecraft skins. One of the skins I created is slime in a suit. And I was like, hey, I want my username in Minecraft to represent the skin that I have so that it shows that I'm not real deal or something. I don't fully understand what my reasoning was, but a slime skin with a suit on, and I was like, looks like a politician. I'll call him Political Slime. And I went with an underscore in the middle because at the time I was very much into the Yogscast, specifically watching Sips, whose his name in Minecraft was Sips underscore, and I was inspired by that. My name is now Political underscore Slime. In 13, I don't know if I should mention that I just had a sudden thought of I could tell the story of how I got Minecraft. Should I shall should I, I'm gonna share
I
that
know is
story.
imperative the story. I mean, if you want to, that's fine.
I want to tell it because it's funny and I've never told it anywhere before.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Eljay Johnsen Show, where we have the scoop you desire. Go ahead,
Yeah.
give us
Yes.
this first look into the life of slime.
First hashtag first. I don't know. Anyway, so I mentioned previously how like I treated things as if they were like a pretty big deal and like, oh, we can't do this and that. So to convince I didn't get Minecraft for Christmas. That was the thing that set me off. It's like I put it on my Christmas list and I was hinting towards it. And I didn't get it.
It set you
Why?
off.
Why? So what I then proceeded to do, I created a plan to get Minecraft. And that plan involved me staying up until 3 o'clock in the morning on a school night,
Ooh.
creating a PowerPoint presentation
Oh my
on
gosh.
why I should get Minecraft.
Oh my gosh. That has got to be one of the lamest things you've ever told me.
I know. Gathered my entire family, and I was like, I gotta tell you guys something really important. This Minecraft presentation. Oh, and it was so bad, and they were just like, yeah, sure, fine, whatever. They were all laughing.
Oh my goodness.
So I got Minecraft for my birthday, and got into Minecraft.
Unbelievable.
I was 16 years old.
Oh my goodness.
And that is highly
For reference,
inappropriate.
you're how old now?
I'm 20.
Oh my gosh. That was 4 years ago. 4 years ago, Slime. Do you know what I was doing 4 years ago?
Technically 5 years ago.
Okay, fair enough. 5 years ago, I was out in the irrigation fields, getting burnt to a crisp by the sun, being drowned by the irrigation water, and lifting pipes to become a small, spindly version of Thor. And here you are, sitting up till 3 a.m. on a school night. Wait, you went to school? Okay, anyway, making a PowerPoint presentation for Minecraft?
Yeah. I think it was around the same time that I was starting to learn how to use a chainsaw from my dad.
That worries me. You with a chainsaw worries me. See, that is a fascinating story, and it totally lines up with what I know of you. So please continue with the continuation of your story.
Okay. Well, the continuation of the story is that into Minecraft, like I said, I was watching Minecraft YouTube videos, as you do in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
And I discovered this video where these guys, I was like, they created Modularity in Minecraft, and I was like, whoa, people still make content about Bionicle even though it's been dead for like and I was like, whoa, this is really cool. I can't wait for it to come out.
Oh, that's where you're stopping. Okay, I see. Can't wait for it to come out. Okay.
Just stop the story there.
Yeah, nice. Well, thankfully, that portion of your story, that, plot line, has a happy ending.
Partially happy ending.
It has a happy-ish ending, I would say.
Anyway, unrelated. So I watched that Biocraft video and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. Didn't get into TTV. It wasn't until like a couple months later I stumbled across an autopsy video that I was like, whoa, Bionicle content, and then proceeded to watch that and watched other autopsy videos, started watching the TTV podcast, and started to get into it. So I was a TTV fan before the whole G2 hit.
Mm-hmm.
Or before. So I was like, I remember I posted a comment once, and I think like Meso responded to it. I was like, whoa, these people actually respond to their comment section. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I was a pretty big TTV fan. Around August of 2014 is when or I should say July of 2014 is when the boards were launched. July 28th, if I remember right, or July 26th. I can't remember.
I don't remember.
I didn't join then. I don't remember because I didn't join then. I actually joined about a week later because I was at a summer camp. Summer camp, I saw the announcement. I was like, hey, I'll join that. Because, the whole leaks had gone around at that point, and it was all excitement and, oh, we can talk to TTV and all sorts of stuff like that. TTV message boards, and it was a pretty fun time. I was a user, I met up with some other users who were building Metro Nui and Minecraft, and we started this whole friend group and eventually formed a podcast that became known as the Cliff Horse Crew podcast. October, yeah. Trust me, your memories are about as fond as mine.
Good.
Yeah, that's not a part of my life that I like to look back very fondly.
Yeah, ditto. No kidding.
But no, it was around October at that time, 2014. I had never really aspired to be a moderator or anything like that. I was always, like, hey, I know a few mods, they're cool. But I was never like, oh, I need to be a mod. 14. 2 members of the CHC became those members were Nyron and Indy. Now Nyron I got because he was a very popular member at the time, and he was like, oh, well, he's super active, he's popular, and he should be a mod. Indy, I was a little more confused by. He admits that he was confused as to why he became a mod. Very active, still isn't very active.
Yes, I know.
And he just was like, it was weird that Indy became a mod. And trust me, I don't think that was a bad choice. I love the guy, we're great friends. Confused by that, and I was like, well, if Indy can become a mod, why can't I?
Oh gosh.
I attempted to analyze what exactly become a mod. So I went through and I analyzed it, and what I discovered is that he had a previous contact with Kahi. He'd been working on his Monog 1.5 project, which is still coming out, guys. Make sure to
right before Biocraft, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then shortly
Totally.
within the same hemisphere of On Air. Continue.
Yeah. So his project that he was working on at the time was Monog 1.5, which, for people who don't know, was a kind of fan-created Monog that took place in between Monog 1 and Monog 2. He and Kahi had been working on a Let's Play for that. Never aired, never went anywhere, but Kahi had that connection with Indy. So when the time came to choose new mods, I guess. So that out, well, I was like, okay, so what I need to do to become a mod is I need to pander to TTV. So I then proceeded to pander to TTV. The first thing that I did is I tried to become more active in the community to try to, be like, hey. But more importantly, what I was doing is I realized that I'm weren't super active on the boards. I need to do something to get their attention. So I created this good old Monog song called Oh Meso, which featured yourself, Eljay, singing to Meso about how distraught and how angry he was about not going the right way in Monog, which the Monog with Meso series is great. You should totally check that out.
It is the best. The second best. But yeah.
Yeah, so that was step one. It was received pretty well. For what exactly gave me the inspiration for that, but I just did it anyway. Um, so I got that attention. The next thing that came out was during the Monog 2 Let's Play. I was watching each episode as it came out. It came out where Tamaru was just wrecking everything and everyone, and you and Meso were talking about, oh, it's an MLG parody, and Meso was like, oh, I wonder if someone will create an MLG parody of this. As he said that, I paused the video.
No.
And I immediately started
Oh
working
my
on
gosh.
it. And I spent 4 hours on the exact same date that video was released.
What happened, man? That's a great work ethic. What happened to you?
I don't know, man. I had to pander.
What happened?
I don't even fully understand how or why I did that. It wasn't even that great quality, but I was just like, I gotta be the first. If I don't do this now, someone will beat me. Did beat me. I was the only one who created one.
Yeah, you were the first. You were also the last.
But anyway, that was another step. In April of 2015. By that point, I'd been in talks with Nyrin and Scarillion, who were both, members of the admin and both members of the CHC. And in those days, information kind of traveled a little bit more freely than it does now. And I can't remember whether it was Nyrin or Scar, but someone mentioned to me how there was this list of moderators, and and then those people were named, and like John Smith, Lego Master, and then at the very bottom of the list, Political Slime. And I was like, I'm on the list now. With that knowledge in mind, I asked Nyrin like how I should go about trying to like push becoming a mod. And I think it was his idea, or maybe it was my idea. I don't remember. It was one of our ideas to just ask. And that's the thing that not a lot of people know, is that every single one of the current moderators, myself, Waj, Indy, and John Smith, all of us were asked to become mods, with the exception of myself. I was actually the only mod who asked to be a part of the mod squad. So I went ahead and I prepared a PM. I sent it to everyone in the admin squad. Stuff happened. About a month later, I became a mod. Yeah. That's the end of my story.
Okay.
That's as far as I ran out of paper at that point.
Okay, excellent. So that's where you are now. And as far as we're aware, you're still a moderator for TTV?
Still a moderator on the TTV message boards. Go to board.ttvpodcast.com, or excuse me, board.ttv channel.
Incredible.
Forgot
Unbelievable.
the new URL. It's been around for 3 years and I still don't remember it.
That's okay. It was very difficult for when I was there too. All right, because yeah, I had to ask and clarify. You're still a mod, right? Because like you guys have, like, I didn't realize one of the other mods I had been there like since Word Go was gone. I didn't realize.
Yeah, Chronicler left a little while ago. Personal reasons.
Yeah, no.
Otherwise, the mod squad has not changed at all since John was added.
John Smith.
I was added. Yeah, John Smith was added. It was because I remember it was me. I was added. Then the next day, Lego Master was added, and the next day was John.
Okay, John Smith. All right, I got to clarify because John is a pretty generic name. So
it is a very generic name.
Yeah. Okay, so you're a moderator on TTV message boards. Tell me, what is that like? What is it like moderating and especially during the earlier stages of the message board's life? What is it like kind of moderating and overseeing things and managing all the rules and the members?
I think the best way to describe it is imagine that you are a school janitor. You're a school janitor. there's some good kids, but there's a lot of bad kids who just like constantly vomit all over everyone and everything. Um, Imagine that, but also imagine that you're unpaid.
Oh,
That's what being a mod is like, pretty much.
so a college janitor.
Pretty much. No, but in all seriousness, it's days. It was very fun being a mod. Because not only were we, cleaning up the boards and making sure everyone followed the rules, but we were also were and still are fairly large members of the community. Trying to get your point across, it sounds a lot cooler when you've got a fancy little shield next to your name and it says mod.
Yeah, and you also get your custom member title.
That is true. That was one of the things I looked most forward to.
Yeah, I don't have my member title
becoming
anymore.
a mod. No.
Hey, Slime.
That's
Do me
when
a
people
favor.
get.
Yeah. Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge. Come on, buddy.
I'll go ahead and I'll give you a title right now. It'll be
Wait,
Eljay Johnsen.
What? No. Wait, hold on, dude. I got a very specific. Anyway, okay. So, what do you think your favorite part moderating has been? Actually, we're gonna like double this question. What's been your favorite part? What's been your least favorite part? Uh-oh.
Well, this requires a little bit of thought. Say my favorite part about moderating is, well, no, actually, I think I'll go with my least favorite thing first because that's easier to think.
That's
of.
fine. We'll end this question on a high note.
Yeah, and on a high note, least favorite thing is dealing with users who only ignore rules. There's users who get on and troll and like, oh, that's like, oh, it's so funny to troll, haha, it's cool, which it's not. But beyond that, like, just people who are just genuinely, no matter how much you try, they don't listen, and it's just like,
Yeah.
I really wish that I'd actually read the double posting rules. But we've tried to make that as clear as possible. Just don't double post. It's like the most common flag we get. Every single new user, it feels like, double posts at some point. Read the rules, please. It's linked in the opening PM that you get when you join the boards. Please. Probably my least favorite part. I'd say my favorite part is dealing with users that can be memed. One of my favorite banned users is a little known, largely because he was banned like about 20 minutes after his account was created.
Wow.
Bumblebee. And Bumblebee was a user who went on the 2016 topic or the 2015 topic, I don't remember which, whatever the heavy traffic topic was at that time, and he was just posting stuff about bees, and he was triple posting and quadruple posting and quintuple posting about
this.
bees and about honey. Buy his honey, and like it was just, and then I don't know how to describe him other than he was just posting about bees. And so then I contacted him and was like, hey, you got to stop with the bee spam or whatever. And he was just like, I don't care. Ban me if you must or whatever. My bees is something. And I banned him. It was fun.
I don't remember that at all.
Again, he was only like online for like, or at most. He did create a dupe account later on. That pretty much did the same thing. But yeah, not a banned user that's very well known. There are some other banned users who have very noticeable memes. Like, of course, there's the radical speech by a certain user.
I do remember that.
There was bound by the mundane. That was another good one. There was just a lot of good times, a lot of good memes. Whenever we could make fun of a band user, it was always a good time. And that sounds horrible, like, oh, your favorite part is making fun of people, but really, when you're a mod and when these people are so blatantly making rules, and if you can like make fun and make jokes out of their phrases and comments, it's a good time.
Okay. All right, fair enough. Yeah, no, I can understand that because for me, it was I never liked banning people because it was like, well, that's somebody who could have really been an active part of this faction of the community. It's somebody who could have interacted, but at some point, you kind of have to desensitize yourself to it and go, you know what? They've made this choice, so bye bye, and then just kind of, yeah, have a little bit of fun with it because it is hobby. It is hobby, but that's understandable.
Indeed.
So in the realm of general Lego, that actually does remind me. So, per my last guest, Waj.
Oh! Speaking of Watch, I'm remembering. He forgot to say stuff, and he told me to tell you this week. So last week, when you asked about his video editing software, he forgot to talk about Sony Vegas Movie Studio HD Platinum 11.0.
Okay.
On a good basis.
Okay.
Also, he used Premiere Pro differently for different videos, like BioCraft. We did a BioCraft series, and there I mentioned what Waj forgot to mention last week.
Thank you, political Waj slime. Yeah, no, okay, that is actually the happy ending to the story, because eventually I was able to rally everyone to make and finish the Island of Matsunui map in Minecraft, and it is still currently up. You can find it if it's ever taken down for whatever reason. I still have download upon download upon download of it, so it'll never die. But okay, so modularity. You and Waj and a lot of the other TTV moderators are members of a YouTube channel and podcast known as Modularity. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, when you say a lot of the other moderators, it's all all
Fair
the
enough.
other moderators. Around the beginning of 2016, a lot of us mods, we were just like, hey, we're let's just make a YouTube channel because we'll never get on TTV. So we were like, hey, well, let's make this YouTube channel. So we determined like, oh well, let's try to figure out what we want. Essentially, we went with a TTV Talks ripoff, which, like Waj said last week, was halfway a parody of TTV and a sincere attempt at stuff. So the initial thing that we really tried to focus in on was short length. In fact, Waj initially wanted each episode to be around 10 minutes or so.
Whoa.
Yeah, a few of us were like, yeah, that's a little too short. So we managed to find a sweet spot around 15 to 30 minutes. And that's where we've been ever since.
Okay, that's understandable. Yeah, so shorter times are easier for people to listen to. I know that much.
Exactly, yeah. And I know Waj talked a lot last week about to edit everything down into such a condensed form. And that's really convenient because sometimes you sometimes you and then you see what I'm saying.
Kind of go off on tangents, and you really want to get X, Y, or Z point out there. So
and you tend to
yeah.
Me specifically, words. I tend to stutter a lot actually. But Waj cuts all that out, so no one would ever know unless I happen to be on a live broadcast.
Yeah, then you might have a bit of a problem.
Yeah, I don't know how many people are watching. I don't actually have the stream open.
I do, and I do know. I'm going to keep a mystery from you. That actually does remind me, if anybody has any questions for Slime at this point, feel free to head on over to Twitter, at the Eljay Johnsen, hashtag the Eljay Johnsen Show, and ask any question that you may have. I can't guarantee we're going to ask it or answer it, depending on its appropriateness. However, feel free to ask it, and we'll try and get around to it before the end of the show. So,
did you get an inappropriate?
What? No.
Did you happen to get an okay, good, because I did spread word around. I didn't know if somebody had sent you something they shouldn't have.
Oh, great. No, thankfully everyone's been quite nice. So, all right, now at this point in time, you're still moderator for TTV, still member Modularity. Actually, that is one quick question: is Chronicler still member Modularity?
He is. A long time ago, we made the determination that if any of us left or were kicked off of the mod squad, we would still maintain um, the group
Mm-hmm.
of modularity, because we wanted to make sure that it was a even though, you know, obviously we're all TTV mods and we met that way, we wanted to make sure that, you know, if something were to happen, we didn't want it to be necessarily be tied to that, unless of course, you know, like went like AWOL and like hated us, then obviously that would be a different story. Problem. But no, yeah, we're all really good friends. So it wouldn't kind of be weird to just like be like, hey, so you left the mod squad, so we're gonna kick you off of our channel now. Bye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I understand.
But yeah, so Chronicler is still a member of Modularity. Is not currently a member of the mod squad.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so now that you're doing what you do, and you're still a member of TTV message boards, where do you see yourself going from this point? Given that the boards are still doing their thing, what's the current game plan for you?
Well, it's really hard to say. A lot of me, well, I mean, I do have my own channel, which had a decent amount of activity going on it. I started to release these videos that were a little bit more free, I guess. Last year, the end of last year, I haven't actually concluded that yet. So there's that in the future. But just doing stuff on my own channel, doing stuff with Modularity that may or may not come out at some point in the future. We're still working on that.
Mm-hmm.
But mostly just doing that sort of stuff is pretty much where I see myself.
Okay, fair enough. I know that you have your own channel and that you do stuff there, although it's frightening.
to say the least. Nothing worse than a previous guest of yours, though, Orion of BCC.
Mm-hmm.
Great stuff with Cooking Hero Factory. Really love that series.
Yeah, no, it is. It's magical. I think that's the way I'd put that series. It is something special, very special.
It is one of a kind.
Yes. No, that is a...
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and get some questions right now. And the reason I'm doing it so early is because we actually do have a few questions.
Oh, boy.
And you and Waj have gotten me the most email questions, and that makes me happy.
It's because we spread it to our friends.
I like that. That makes me very happy.
We force them to send us questions.
Oh, okay, not as happy anymore. Let's get into the first one. First one is from Leo Zander. He says, I have 4 questions for Plotical Slim Slam. Mm-hmm. 1. Why are you so obsessed with soup?
Well, it's an interesting question. So a while back on my channel, I released a song about soup and how it was the greatest thing in the world. This is due to my 3 years ago now, 2015. I started going to my college, and I at the cafeteria. That's
Nice.
the word. At the cafeteria, they had this deal: 9 soups, you'd get the 10th soup free. Being a broke college student, the soup was actually one of the cheapest options that you could buy, and was decently filling. And the selection would change on a weekly basis. They had all sorts of soups. They had like a buffalo chicken soup. They had like a mac and cheese soup. They had all these like really cool and unique soups. started to get really, really into soup, and would eat basically nothing but soup for the week that I was at school. So then I just started grew from there.
The
That's
more
why
you
I'm
talk,
so obsessed with soup.
the more you talk about your life, the more things that you do and say and have done make more sense to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what can I say? Reality mirrors.
Yeah, you're done.
Reality.
Why?
I don't know.
Second question. Why is Emils still alive?
Is Emil's still alive? Well, fun fact, Emil's Lacetalop, who is of course my doppelganger and arch rival, was initially he initially premiered in the second episode of the CHC Forever Alone cast that I did a very long time ago. The reason why he is still alive is classified.
Great. That got us
I'll
nowhere.
also
Okay. Classified. All right. Question 3. Is King DDD better than Kirby? I don't understand this at all. Okay, we're moving on to the next one immediately. Question number 4.
How do you not know about Kirby? Have you never played Smash Brothers?
I mean, I know who Kirby is. I just don't understand the context for that question. I don't know who King DDD is.
King DDD is the one who's in my avatar right now, right this very moment.
I don't know who that is.
Kirby Star Allies, buy for the Nintendo Switch, March 16th, 2018.
Okay, no. Question number 4. Where is the best corn?
Where's the best corn? Oh, that's another one of my obsessions. So, some people may know I actually work at a historical mill, grist mill, in real life, and we grind corn. So I learned a lot about corn and became. So where the best corn can be found depends on what type of corn you're talking about. There are, of course, 6 main types of corn: sweet corn, dent corn, flint corn, waxy corn, popcorn, and sweet corn.
You already said sweet corn.
Oh, flowery corn.
There you go.
Excuse me. So that's the six main types of corn. There are obviously different types of corn can be found in different regions. Dent corn is the one that's grown most often and is used in stuff like ethanol, corn syrup, cornstarch. Sweet corn is what you eat when you eat corn on the cob. It's designed to be, soft and squishy, and you can actually bite into it. The rest of them, as they grow, they dry out, so that by the time you pick them, they're all break them. Popcorn has it's got a hard outer shell and a little pocket of moisture on the inside, so that when you heat it up, that moisture expands, the pressure builds and builds and builds and builds until it pops, explodes. The rest of the corns, they'll have a little bit of moisture, so they'll pop a little bit, but they won't pop as much as popcorn. Flint corns are extremely hard. They're one of the older types of corn. Most people would classify them as Indian corn. I'm just gonna keep going until you stop me.
I'm not going to stop you.
Okay.
This is fascinating.
Corns, usually colorful, although other types of corn can be colorful as well. Floury corns, usually used to make corn flour. Not much to say about them. They've got a lot of
I feel
starch.
like I've heard all I need.
Waxy corn. I gotta get to waxy corn.
Okay.
So waxy
I
corn
thought you already had. Okay.
Technically, okay. Let me just quickly. So waxy corn, initially discovered in China, which is weird because corn is native to the Americas. So we're still not exactly sure how that happened, but it's very waxy. Genetic tracking, like tracking of genes and stuff like that. That's a brief overview of corn in a nutshell.
I see.
Corn kernel.
I feel the reason I didn't stop you is A, that filled time. No, but B, I like to learn, and I feel like I've learned today, and that's always a good day. It's like
How many types of corn are there?
I don't know. It just listen. If let's say for instance, even if you're having a bad day where you like put your hand on a stove or you walk across like you're a child and you crawl across a floor heater and burn yourself like your hands and your knees and your legs and like just horrific burns, twice. You're still learning not to do that again, so I feel like that's a good day. Anyway, the next question is from the Joe. How does one achieve radiation level meme status?
Well, the simple answer to that question is be me. I I am the epitome of radiation level of memes.
I don't know what that means.
I think it means memes that are so strong that they begin to harm people who are around them
What the heck?
mentally and socially.
What? Okay.
Actually, I don't know if I'd classify myself as being at a radiation level. I think there's a certain level that you surpass, where you reach such a level of irony and like self-loathing that your memes become radiation level.
Okay, well, that simultaneously answered and did not answer my question whatsoever. So I appreciate that. Okay, we'll go ahead
What I do? I'm a politician.
uh, and everything made sense again. We do actually have one quick question from somebody who goes unnamed. What do they do with waxy corn? Again?
So waxy corn is used primarily as like a genetic tracker, like to track different genes within the corn. I don't know the specifics of it, but like with genetic tracking and stuff like that.
Oh,
In the different, like, you know how there's like with people there's like recessive genes and passive genes and stuff like
yeah.
that, with like eyeball color, hair color, stuff like that. Um, I think they use it as like a base to do with corn, because corn. One thing that I forgot to mention is that corn crossbreeds super easily.
Mm-hmm.
That's used a lot as far as like figuring out the genes for. That's about as far as I know about it. I actually don't know a whole lot about waxy corn. I've never seen it
Okay.
in real life. I've never had much contact with it, but that's my research that I've done on waxy corn.
Okay, cool. Excellent. Thank you. Okay, so we got four more questions from Waj, and
boy.
they go as follows. What are your favorite kinds of soup?
I have to say the aforementioned buffalo chicken soup was actually like really good.
That sounds really good.
It was amazing. Like imagine you took like a buffalo sauce and you just added chicken into it and then you made it a soup. That's pretty much what it was.
See, that
I'm a
sounds
part.
really good, but then you mentioned like it's cafeteria food, and it no longer sounds good.
It was decent for cafeteria food.
Hmm.
There was another one that I don't remember the name of. It was like it was like leek soup. It was really good. There were a few others that I don't remember. I haven't been back to school in over a year now, so.
Fair enough. Okay. All right. Next question is, what is your favorite episode of the Modcast?
Favorite episode of the Modcast. Easy answer. My favorite answer. My favorite episode of the Modcast is we did an episode on the second half of Journey to One.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually sick during that episode, but
Ugh.
it wasn't. I felt very strongly. Journey One in general, I'm of the opinion that it was all garbage.
Oh.
It's a very unpopular opinion. A lot of people say, well, the first half was all right, the second half not as much, or some people say, well, the first, three out of four good. I'm 4 out of 4, all bad.
Whoa. Okay. That I don't know if I agree with that, buddy.
I know a lot of people don't agree with me, but that's how I felt. So when the second episode was announced at the end of the second half that it was ending, I was literally, as I was watching it, I screamed out, yes, 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 it's ending. And I was just so happy. And I was going online. People were like, oh, this Barnacle's ending. And I was just so happy.
I should have left you
But in regards to in regards to the Modcast episode, I actually went back and I rewatched it. I phone and I did a little I kept track of I did a voice notes or whatever it's called, voice recorder, to like just keep notes on like what every issue was. So every time I'd see an issue, I'd stop, I'd pause it, and I'd say, like, Ikimu's terrible joke at 34 minutes in or whatever. And I just kept doing it. And I kept pausing the video like every 3 seconds. And as I progressively went through these notes, I just got more and more depressed. Just
Man,
what is this? I've never released those recordings to the public, but my feelings are summed up in the episode. It's just I despise it so and it was all encapsulated in that that's why it's my favorite episode, because I got to rant.
huh? Okay, fair enough. This next question is actually one that I'm interested to know the answer to. Who am I kidding? I know the answer to. Waj asks, if pitted against each other, which one of you would win in a wrestling match, and what would be your signature move?
Well, clearly, I would win because I see. Hold on. Here is my for that. So, being a slime, I have and being a politician, am of course very slippery. So what I would do is I would douse myself in soup to make myself impossible to grab. Would then spill soup all over the floor, and it would trip you, and you would fall. It would fall on top of you.
Okay, so you see, here's why that wouldn't work. See, for about 4 years, I've mastered the art of irrigation fu. And doing irrigation, you're basically working in water, in mud, at very slippery surfaces all the time. So you have to get really good at balancing in those surfaces and also working against it to gain some form of leverage when you're moving these large, very heavy pipes. So not only are you just absolutely ripped, you're also glistening and tan because of the sun, but you're really good at balancing in slippery surfaces. So that soup trick ain't gonna fly, buddy. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk all over there. I'm gonna be like, you're Jello now, and take your gelatinous head covered in soup, rip it off of your torso, and just eat it like one of those bugs in The Lion King. And that's how I win the fight. My signature move is going to be called the Sprinkler Slice. Because, like a high-pressure sprinkler, I'm going to cut through my opposition.
My signature move is called the Infinite Soup.
Okay, we're moving on. His final question is, what are your thoughts on the philosophical implications of corn?
3.
Is that your answer?
That's my answer, is 3.
Okay, thanks. Okay, we have 2 more questions. These come from Twitter. And again, thank you all very much for sending in questions. The first one is from the aforementioned Orion. And he asks, why choose the name Political Slime? Also, do you think gumbo is a soup, stew, or something else entirely? We answered the question as to why your name is Political Slime earlier, so just go ahead and focus
I was going to say
that latter
one. Repeat that again, gumbo, soup.
Do you think gumbo is a soup, stew, or something else?
Now, classification of soup, it starts to get a little bit muddy. Personally, I would say that a stew is considered a soup. So I would say gumbo is in fact a soup. That's my official stance on that.
Okay, fair enough. You guys heard it from the
Now, when you start to get into like the whole argument of, well, it's cereal, a soup, but it's like, no, it's sweet, it's not savory, it's completely different ingredients. So no, you're done.
I feel like this is a much deeper conversation than I know.
You have no idea.
Okay. So, our current final question comes from Magic Spinjitzu Master, who asks, what were your craziest and most memorable moments while being a mod on the TTV message boards, and who were the weirdest users that you had come across as a mod?
Well, last one I gotta give to Bumblebee, who, as I previously mentioned, was my favorite band user on the boards. Yeah, I'd say that I kind of already cover that. I feel like I kind of did a little bit.
The Bumblebee person? You
Yeah,
kind of the question I had asked earlier was something along the lines of what were your favorite and least favorite parts. These are more specifically pertaining to moments.
moments. I would say one of my favorite moments was when I shot you.
Hmm. Yeah, I
with
remember
the
that.
with the blowguard, April Fools 2016. That was a great time. Um, we had been planning that out for a while, and it was eventually decided that I would, shoot a video and that would be like the official like LJ is dead video.
Mm-hmm.
It was all on April Fools. I actually had to go into the city because of a school project. So the morning before I got up, I mean, the morning before I had to leave, I got up early. I went and I shot everything. I took my laptop with me. I was on the train and I was editing that video and I finished it.
I
I
remember
got
that. I
into the
remember you telling
city.
me
It
about
was
that.
it was a fun time.
Yeah,
Just
I loved
trying
that
to like put it
that
back
April
together.
Fool's joke. That was. I'm very happy how I was able to orchestrate everything into place, and it all worked out.
It was a fun time. I
Yeah,
think I
yeah.
think a lot of the other mods would agree with me that April Fool's 2016 is probably one of our favorite.
Good. I'm glad. I'm glad that all worked out. Okay, well, that about wraps it up for our questions. So thank you all for sending those in. They're greatly appreciated.
Actually, I have a question for you, LJ.
No, no.
What would you say,
Mm.
if for example, I was playing Super Metroid and I couldn't get past the ghost boss, and I have no idea how to do it?
I don't know. I have I have no idea. Do you think I'm gonna know even the slightest iota of how to do
I thought
this?
you, I thought you, I thought you were a Metroid fan.
I am a Metroid fan. That doesn't mean I haven't played all the Metroid games. I have not played a
What?
single Metroid Prime game. Not one.
What games have you played?
I don't remember the names of them. Meso knows. Meso knows which ones I've played. I don't remember. I think okay. So there was the one with the X parasites. I played that one,
Um,
and then I played the remake. I think of the original Metroid. Was it?
that's Zero Mission. Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Zero Mission, and I think there was was that separate from the X Parasite one? I don't recall.
Yes.
Okay,
I think
good.
if I'm remembering my Metroid lore right, which I'm fairly new to the franchise,
Fair
so
enough.
like if I'm wrong, I think you're talking about Zero Mission and Metroid Fusion, both of which were released for the Nintendo Game Boy Advance.
You are correct. Those are the two that I have played, and those are the only two that I have played.
Okay, well I guess I'm asking the wrong man
You
about
are.
Super Metroid.
You most certainly are. I will play more, I swear. Like, I have a Switch, so inevitably I'm going to be playing Metroid Prime 4, so I gotta get the others and play those, so. But,
I've never played Prime.
alright, Slime, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. Where would you like people to follow you on social media?
Well, there's a few places. I'm on Twitter at Political Slime. I'm on YouTube at Political Slime. I'm on TTV message boards at board.ttvchannel.com at Political Slime. I'm on Instagram at Political Slime. I actually posted about this on Instagram. Are you on Instagram?
Okay, so I made an account, and I hadn't publicly announced that I made an account because I'm not using Instagram because I want to use it. In fact, I didn't want to make an account. I'm trying to book another guest. That's why I made an account, and so I made the account. I didn't tell anyone about it, And lo and behold, I have like 6 people who found out and followed me. One of which being BZ Power, the other being Fwef. And I don't know how they figured it out. I didn't tell anyone.
Well,
I just made the account to try and book a new guest.
It could be that Instagram automatically like shares like contact, like your contact info and stuff. I don't know.
I follow one person. The guest I'm trying to book. Doesn't matter. Anyway, I have it.
I think I actually did find you earlier.
Oh my gosh. What the heck?
Instagram. I was looking to see if there was any Eljay Johnsons I could tag. I was like, oh, here's one without a profile picture. I wonder if that's Eljay.
I tried to add one, I think. I don't know. I'm not even bother checking right now. Bottom line, I don't know why people use Instagram. I didn't want it. I'm just trying to get a guest, guys. Continue. Where do you want people following you?
Twitter, YouTube, the TTV message boards, Instagram. Follow me on Craigslist as well. As previously mentioned, Craigslist extraordinaire.
Okay, I will try and link as many of those in the description as I can. So,
can you link
okay,
to
so
Craigslist
I had
as well?
I do apologize. It looks like I did find out how Fwef found out about it, and that was due to one of my future guests mentioning it, and I'm going to leave him as a mystery for the moment. Okay. Anyway, Slime, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for being here. Thank you for doing what you did for the message boards. I did appreciate it while I was there. I don't ever want to speak with you again. I think it's best.
Same. I think it's mutual. The feeling's mutual.
Yeah. I believe that if that were to happen, if we were to ever meet again in Brick Fair, Virginia, 2018, in Chantilly, Virginia, United States, early August, I feel that one of us might die. Honestly.
It's true.
Mm-hmm. So,
already dead, so that...
of course. Yeah. So, thank you all very much for listening. It has been a fun time. Slime, we'll see you in the future. If anyone would like to ask any questions over the week, send an email to ljjohnson@gmail.com. And if you have any questions or want some updates, follow me on Twitter @the Eljay Johnsen, and you will get updates, including guest announcements, every Tuesday. So thank you all once again very much for listening, and we will see you all again next time. You have a great day.
Bye!